Yes, sir. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A warm welcome to this evening's Colors of Glory virtual meet. I am Dhanesh Sankhyan, one of the coordinators of this event. So let me begin by introducing what Colors of Glory Foundation is. Colors of Glory Foundation is an organization with the unique mission of bringing India's armed forces closer to the hearts and minds of ordinary Indians, probably the first of its kind in the country. We are proud that we have been highlighting India's rich military heritage by hosting numerous outdoor and indoor events during past 4 years since we came into existence. Although we have been constrained to restrict our activities to these virtual events for almost a year now due to the pandemic threat, we have made it worthwhile for the participants by hosting interesting talks and presentations by eminent speakers on a variety of topics. And please be rest assured that we will bounce back with all action as soon as the situation improves. We eventually plan to extend our activities to other cities in India as well. Indeed, we will continue with the virtual meets as well as to reach out to our audience all over India and overseas. We invite all of you who are not yet members of our organization to come to our fold. The modalities of obtaining membership are available on our website, the URL of which appears at the bottom of our e-invites. Be a member and be a part of a unique initiative. In case you have an inclination to write, irrespective of whether you are a member or not, we invite you to contribute blogs for our website, which is already rich with the more than 100 popular blogs on India's proud military past. Please feel free to call or email us for any clarifications. Now, before we commence today's event, please permit me to present a kaleidoscopic view of what we do. Yes. And now I request Captain Ramachandran sir to introduce our speaker. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, it's my privilege to introduce Colonel M.S. Dai, our distinguished speaker today. Uh, he's not altogether new to our audience. He's having delivered a memorable talk on our forum a few months ago on his exploits in the Siachen Glacier. Commissioned into 3 Jack Light Infantry, a battalion he commanded eventually. He has had a meritorious career spanning 34 years in the Indian Army, practically serving in every border area from the deserts of Rajasthan and Ran of Kutch to high altitude posts of UP Tibet border, Sikkim and Ladakh, and of course Siachen Glacier, before hanging up his boots in 2007. He was awarded Shaurya Chakra for exceptional gallantry in the battle to Saddle, a crucial feature on the left shoulder of Siala Pass during 1985, while commanding a company of the famed Ladakh Scouts on regimental deputation. Post-retirement, the colonel has been just about as active as he was during his service days, with his deep involvement in history analysis, social activism, youth empowerment, animal welfare and academic activities of a myriad nature. A Haryanvi by birth, he has done outstanding work as a research scholar with the Haryana Academy of History and Culture, bringing to fore the unique military cultural heritage of his home state. Quite passionately so, since he himself belongs to a family of great military soldiering tradition. The topic of his talk today has actually been the main theme of the 2019 session of the Academy, wherein Colonel Daya was the principal research scholar. I now invite him to address the gathering. All yours, Mer. Thank you. Mer, you can start.
You can hear me, sir?
Yes, I can.
Thank you so much. Good evening, friends. It's a great honor to see my erstwhile colleagues to on board. Actually, as Captain Ramachandra sir mentioned, that post superannuation, I got into practically every institution in the civil. Basically, a seeker. I worked from animal welfare to universities in Haryana and once or twice in Delhi also. For today's talk, since I belong to the area about which I wish to talk with you all, I dedicate my talk today as a tribute to all the martyrs of this region over centuries and centuries. Before I come to the subject proper, I also wish to thank Air Marshal Vartman and the entire team of CoG, who have been very magnanimous, very kind to me to give a platform of this level. Gentlemen, for today's talk, since majority are from the service background, I wish to share that it is not a presentation typically that we come across during our service tenure. Since I'm trying to talk about the cultural heritage of an area, which has been, if I can say, taken for granted, unspoken of, and literally from my own experience visiting various places in Haryana, I've seen that heritage has been, by design or default, has been ignored to an extent, and in fact eaten away by the demographic aggression which is taking place to this area. I have a few points to share with you for a better understanding the very spirit of my talk. First and the foremost thing, as you all know, that recently history has become a very interesting and the main focus. It has literally shifted from art stream to that of science. There are reasons, but history is history, and we cannot take it beyond a reference point, and certainly not as a roadmap. Because of archaeology, carbon dating, and DNA studies, assisted by proliferation of technology, people like me are also venturing into this field and learning and sharing. No wonder I've been in a university also for some time. The research aspect has shifted to freelancers. The primary, secondary, and oral history have always been the basis, but they too are in fast forward mode today. Next thing I want to say is, to understand history, it is from macro to micro level. Unfortunately, since we look around for immediate gains or brownie points, we are addressing from micro and totally ignoring the macro. One of the main aims of my today's talk is to talk at a bigger perspective at macro level for a better understanding. Before certain few more points that I want to share with you is that Haryana, as I request you to see it from my talk in that perspective, that Haryana, as we see today, is a very small portion of, basically for administrative and political reasons. But ever since from 18th century onwards, this area has been undergoing reformatting, reconstruction, and redefining. The latest one happened in 1966, and it has not stopped there, because from this area, 3,500 square kilometers of an area has been eaten away into something called NCR, National Capital Region. Haryana, since it hugging Delhi, it is directly affected. In fact, there is a talk of stretching it right up to Bandargarh. Another thing that I wish to share with you is that culturally, the military warfare has been part of the people's life here, and it literally flows or remains in the pith and marrow, and is part of our way of life. Next point I want to highlight is that mainly Jat, Gujar, Minas, Ahis, and in the upper South Haryana that we call the followers of Sikhism, and it makes a present day Haryana. But Haryana that I'm talking of is much bigger. Can I have a share screen, please? इसमें वो है शेयर यहाँ सेव है, एक मैप है, इसमें सेव कर रखा है. ये वाला, हाँ, ये इसको शेयर करना. नहीं, run, come back to, come back. Just there. Okay. You see, it was in 1803 that the Britishers, when they came upwards to establish themselves in Delhi, Haryana was, this region was, you can say, I call it Haryana Doab, between the Ganges and the Yamuna. On the western side, the today present Bikaner and this area used to be jungle days. And on the eastern side, it was hugging the Awadh area. East of Satluj, down up to Gwalior and even Malwa region. So this is the area which has got a common way, of course, with some variation here and there as per the geographical location. It has been the bigger chunk of land where practically every warring race of the world have crossed sword for the control of Hindustan. To understand it that way, I have made a layout of it starting from right from Mahabharata time. In this respect, I wish to share my, I don't know how, in Hindi we call it TIS. It has been in my mind that it is a land where a it is a land where biggest front, and unfortunately we have put this as part of mythology. ये दूसरे मैसेज आ रहे हैं, उनको बंद करो ना। नहीं ओके। I wish to share certain facts about Mahabharata. I was amazed when I was doing my research that, just to give an idea of strength involved, the highest combat formation used to be known as Aksoni. There were 11 Aksonis on the Kaurava side, and there were 7 on the Pandava side. And the Aksonis organization is given right to the level of today's section level. I was amazed to see that one Aksoni had 21,870 Rath, 21,800 elephants, 1,09,350 foot soldiers, 65,600 horses. That means the average strength of one Aksoni used to be 2,18,700. I was amazed that the military maneuvers, which we call Chakkar views, have been so refined and have been so professionally organized that our today's of recent times, our military organization and the maneuvers and combat setup and all, it pales in front of it. Unfortunately, we just say it is mythology. Gentlemen, I want to say, and I physically visited this area of the battlefield of Mahabharata. It is 48 course by 48 course, right up to Jeen, of course, Kurukshetra, and coming towards Delhi. One course is 2.5 miles, and 1 mile, all of us have been running 2 miles, it is 1.6 kilometer. Imagine, it was so professionally organized, and we have swept it under the carpet. Pardon me, I wish to, since we are all known to each other, military leadership post independence has failed, inadvertently I say, because had we changed the focus from the study of warfare from European battlefields and studied our own, I'm saying with full conviction that there is nothing better than what our ancestors have undergone and faced and evolved the entire thing as a science. Leaving it at that, though I got all the other inputs, like how they were Chakravyuh were organized. I'd like to share it with CoG subsequently after this talk. Can you show it? Now, this is the way these views were created and fought. Another thing that I want to say is that if you see it from the bigger perspective, this area is an extension of battlefield from Central Asia. All of us know how the Mughals came, how other people came. They came from high steppes, mountainous areas, crossing the passes. And in this, the area west of Satluj, that we call Punjab, it was only a passage. How many major battles have been fought here with Punjab? In fact, I would like to add here that rise of Maharaja, the legendary Maharaja Ranjit Singh, was consequent to when his mother-in-law Sada Kaur taunted him that see the wealth which is being looted and taken away, you're doing nothing. This was the beginning, this single taunt was the beginning of unparalleled, unique empire that this legendary Maharaja Ranjit Singh created. We have failed to study all this because had it been otherwise, this heritage, like our own social ethos, camaraderie, all these things would have percolated to the society naturally. Moving ahead, इसको बंद कर दे. Come to the new soldier. Yeah. Haryana and the Haryanvis have the oldest tradition of bearing arms right since the Mahabharata, as I elaborated. The military culture and heritage of Haryanvis run unbroken concurrently with the history of India. Any culture which gets interrupted, it just disappears. So the main profession of these people has been food growing, sports, and in being in military. To talk of bit about ancient heritage, three words that I want to share with you is Ganpati, Gantantra, and Ganrajya. Hardwar has been the gateway of this area, and the scriptures endorse this area as Bahudhanai, because if you see at a macro level, the terrain dictates, because this area has the most fertile land in the whole of world. The climatical condition combined with the hard-working farmers have always been the sustaining factor. It dates back to antiquity because there is a mention of word Haryana in Rig Veda, which endorses that it is an area with a very old traditions way of life. Another thing aspect of this, which is culturally that you find in this area is that these people are roots, they are tribalistic in their ethos, code of conduct. And I can say with full conviction that the 4 Varnas and 64 castes have failed to impact them in earlier times, which is not the case now. Geography is the mother of history, and it is proved in ditto in case of Haryana. Gentlemen, once the battle for Hindustan was decided by taking on Delhi, it was taking control of the areas around. Though there are so many confrontations, but I'll basically talk of 4 main battles which have been fought here. Unfortunately, Battle of Silpat. Unfortunately, we have not studied them in enough number. One of the unique battle which has been fought was the Battle of Tilpat. It was fought under the leadership of Chieftain Raja Gokula Singh. Contrary to the general perception, the people of this area have always been the defender of faith. Though there are innumerable, but I'll just quote 2 examples. One is of Raja Gokula Singh, who was the ancestor of legendary Maharaja Surajmal. Mughal Empire in its later generation in Aurangzeb, they wanted to convert this area into Islam. 8,000 Jat soldiers were sacrificed facing 1 lakh of Mughal army, which was personally led by nothing less than Aurangzeb, because his Subedars and generals had failed to cow him down. Gokula Singh killed the main Fauzdar Abdul Nabi, who was the most trusted commander of Mughal army. He became the force to reckon with in this area, and everything in that time circled around him. Indians have suffered mainly because of better artillery of the Mughal army. Incidentally, I want to add a small interesting point here. Babur had a boyfriend. His name was Baburi. Baburi joined 1526 battle, the first battle of Panipat, the nick of time, bringing the artillery guns which he brought from Turkey. Imagine, these are the kind of things which are absolutely unknown to even the service fraternity, what to talk of others. As the destiny goes, Gokula Singh was captured, was a 6 feet 6 inches, very handsome man. Aurangzeb praised him. He says, I am really impressed with your bravery. You convert to Islam. And he said no. And he was cut to pieces. I give you one more example. In Palwal district of Haryana, there is a huge village called Bahin. Similarly, the serf Khap head of the Khap head of the Rawats, Kana was his name. He was 7 feet plus. He was captured when he was being brought to the main place. His mother taunted him. कि काना रे देखिए बेटे पूरी पाल तेरे पीछे खड़ी है. Same offer was given to him that you convert to Islam, because had he done that, entire present-day district of Palwal, Faridabad would have been Islamized. I'll come to another component when I cover 1857. Next thing I want to say is about Battle of Tarain. You see, what we know as present-day Kurukshetra, actually, its original name is Thanesa. Raja Harshvardhan was the king, and he ran his administration on the concept of Sarv Kha Panchayats. Tarain ka. ये खत्म हो गया. Another thing that I want to highlight when I'm talking of the battles fought in this area, after the defeat of Prithviraj Chauhan in Second Battle of Tarain in 1192 AD, the resistance was steered by leadership of Jatwan Malik. He besieged the fort of Hansi and did not allow the commander of Qutbuddin Aibak to come out of the fort. In a sanguinary conflict lasting for several days, which according to an estimate, 5,000 Jats fell fighting the martyrdom of Jatwan Malik. What I want to highlight is that we never allow any quarter, despite Aurangzeb's very poor handling of this area. The rest is history. Next thing I want to talk about is, as far as the battles are concerned, I come to Third Battle of Panipat. It was more of a misunderstanding of the entire concept, because the local man on the ground was Maharaja Surajmal. The Marathas had a different concept of taking control of everything. And I will not hesitate to say that their rule was very unfair. In the entire system of taxation, it was the highest. The term Maratha Chauth is still known in records in the history. In addition to that, they used to charge 10% of protection money, making it 35% in those days. We all know what the condition would have been. 1857 is I can say with full conviction that we cannot understand the real India without reading 1857. In this respect, I want to share that after the mutiny, for 128 days, Raja Nahar Singh withheld the fort. He was also captured by deceit because the British sent the message that Maharaja wants to negotiate and will only do if you are present. He was lured, captured, and crucified. And gentlemen, I want to bring out how we treat our martyrs. In Chandni Chowk, where he was crucified with two of his other generals. One of them was a Saini, another was a Muslim. There is not even 10 feet by 10 feet of place till date. We have been independent for 70 years now. We can't find a place of a man for a man of that level. Anyway, notwithstanding that, again, Haryana region paid the highest, and the incident of Udmi Ram crucified, left hanging for 32 days. It is a village Livaspur along the GT road. And the Khuni Sadak of Hansi, the village of Ronat, and the rolling stone for which Sonipat people were crushed is still there along the GT road in Tau Devilal Park. There is so much of this thing which we have ignored. Reasons better known to those who resort to this kind of thing. I'm of firm opinion. In fact, I have read about scores of books on this. Making of British India by Lawrence James and India Conquered by John Wilson. That's such a record. I don't vouch for 100% trueness because British were used to showing themselves at a higher pedestal, morally, physically, administratively, or whatever. But definitely, those of you who are interested, from 1757, there were 6 battles which were fought. The first being the Battle of Buxar. They took control of Oudh, and it culminated into Battle of Sindh. In these 6 battles, again, it was the fort of Maharaja Surajmal, which was impregnable. Lord Lake got a boot, and second time again, of course, he got a boot on the Satluj. What I want to say is, just see the technology. The fort making is just one example. Just see the number, the type of warfare from the highest battlefield in the world in Siachen that we have today to the deepest seas, desert, run of Kutch, mountainous, jungle. In this, I'm compelled to mention about the history of INA. Gentlemen, Jind infantry found a major component having a large representation of Haryanvis. Lieutenant Colonel Gurbakh Singh was the CEO. His younger brother Harbakh Singh, who later became army commander, was his assistant. 90,000 people surrendered in Singapore Square. A huge chunk, courtesy Captain Yadav, who was member of INA. He has compiled a record, and every Jawan's name is there, his erstwhile unit and his new unit. They've done a wonderful job. And imagine, for 27 years, not a pie was given to them. I'm talking from first-hand experience because my own family members have been part of it. We have failed to suitably take care of our martyrs, and it has got its own consequences which need no elaboration. INA, if you see perforce, the other day there was a talk organized by CoG by Admiral Arun Prakash, Subhash Chandra Bose, military icon. I was amused. Which military and whose icon? Subhash Chandra Bose as an individual does not figure into in any aspect of our military post 1947. Today we want to make him an icon, fine. But at the same time, we should not forget the sacrifices of 20,000 people who trusted the leadership and the condition under which they fought is part of folklore in Haryana. It is sung. The new generations are reminded what all they have faced. I've heard, analyzed, and even presented in whatever capacity I could do. Coming to the later times, and the contribution of Haryanvis, 6th Jat Light Infantry, literally from the line of march in September 1914, was launched in Festurberg. And mind you, gentlemen, the Germans were so shocked. It is just not possible. Who are the new inputs in the area? By that time, the Indian divisions have arrived. And Festurberg, if you read, my God, it's bone chilling. First World War, we have studied enough because the erstwhile masters left this heritage during their time and subsequently in all our examination, promotion exam, test, we have been going through all those things. Coming to the Second World War, again, this time better organized and with RT support. The sacrifices which have been made by our ancestors are unique. In fact, we are very modest in our claims. If anyone has saved the institution of democracy, it is the Indians, and with a huge participation from Haryana. Coming next, and the participation, I'll like to talk of Western Ladakh. You see, again, we are shy of studying. If you go in details, our people have done wonders. Since I've been personally in those environments, I can understand what they must have undergone. But if you see the if you see the battle as fought in Western Ladakh, with a founder GOC of 3 days, Major General Bhut Singh Daya, one of his own kind, very unique, who has been decorated with military cross twice within a duration of 1 month. He was on retirement. He was called, promoted to Major General, asked to raise 3 division. In this, gentleman, comes the Battle of Rajangla, fought by Haryanvis, the Ahir boys from southern Haryana, have fought a battle which has got no parallel in modern history. We are so proud, but again, we have not been able to project all those things. In Eastern region also, had it been not the commanders got shaky legs, Bomdilla and other well fortified and stocked places, and no reason to fall. Only one who took a stand was Brigadier Hoshiyar Singh, again a Haryanvi, and he was ill-treated for what he did, literally amounting to disobedience of command. When you read these things and pass it on to our next generation, they definitely become a very motivational and make the ultimate sacrifice for the country, which is our mainstay. Coming to 65, all of us know how, under a Christian commanding officer, 3 Jat did something unimaginable, capturing a place, falling back, and again recapturing is just not imaginable. I know it from first-hand experience what it means when the bullets are flying and the voices of enemy are within audible range, what shivers it gives. It is a unique Battle of Dograil, fought by this unit. We come again in the participation 65, Haji Pir. Then you come to subsequent battles. And a small state giving 4 chiefs is not an ordinary thing. Jan V.K. Singh, Jan D.K. Kapoor, Jan Dalbir, Admiral Lamba. Coming from these things, but I have a complaint. The senior officers from Haryana are shy of knowing about our own heritage and passing it on to the next generation. I may be wrong, but the results speak otherwise. I even walked up to Jan Saab in clause, and he looked at me. He says, "What are you talking, friend?" Obviously, because it has not been a part of our military discourse. Main us pe aa ja. There is another aspect than military, that is social. Gentlemen, Haryanvis have a unique spirit of helping their own brethren with whatever meager resources. That time a Jawan used to get 18 rupees or something. The legendary Sir Chotu Ram, Deputy Premier of Punjab, organized, and there used to be regular contribution unit-wise. Somebody promising a room in a college, somebody creating a school, and even in fact, he used to write Jat Gazette, and in that, I was amazed to read their letters. Some even given hope. They've been away for 4 to 5 years. They even written to their elders that if my wife decides to remarry, I'm open to it. Our women have not committed Johar. They have been part of this culture. And in this, I would like to share with you example of Rani Kishori Bai, wife of Maharaja Surajmal. After this third battle of Panipat, the Peshwa army was totally routed. It is this time the Maharani Saiba took control of things and attended to the women and children, because Marathas' way of military life has been always accompanied by their women and children and followers, helpers, and all those things. She organized them. Every Maratha family falling back, they were given remuneration for the backward journey, and she even asked the cavalry column to accompany them right to their homes. It is a matter of great pride. They are out of those ancestors whom they gave their daughters. They settled down there. And there are 22 villages of theirs by name Jagtap and other surnames. They are all around, especially in Nasik, Malegaon. Then R.K. Huda is here. He has even visited. I have interacted with these people as part of my social journey. In this, when we talk of the social responsibility of Haryanvis, the sensitivity towards them, they have always been role model. In my social journey, whenever I come across any place where the work is being done good and appreciable, soldier wala, I found a veteran there. To the youth and the continued motivation, Gentlemen, if you visit Haryana villages, on all peripheries, you will find memorials and other such tales of bravery, youth practicing, despite being very close to a world level market in Delhi, they still prefer this profession. It is because of this cultural heritage. Next thing that I wish to talk about is that this continued tradition has been the mainstay of the society. In this, especially in rural Haryana, even today you will find the traces of this, and even Kargil and post Kargil in insurgency, you just see the sacrifices. It tells its own stories, and I've been to many such unveiling of Satish, that boy who was in my regiment only. Major Sharma from my own village, he martyred with a Kirti Chakra. What I want to say is that this is one aspect which needs to be researched, that we are not the one who can be, anything that we have is termed mythology. The way Mahabharata has been organized and fought, there were 39 lakh people who participated, 39 lakh plus, when you calculate the Aksunis and all. Just imagine mobilizing this army, sustaining them, and after 18 days of war, what all must have happened, we can imagine. Brigadier Airy of the CEO of three grenadiers, again a Haryanvi, and there are innumerable scores of senior officers today. Fortunately, the universities and other places are their natural place where they are expected. In this saga of history, heritage, I want to share one more thing. And that is, not only we have been the defender of faith, we have also been the propagator of faith. In this, I like to share a fact that we have a huge contribution of facilitating move of Guru Tegh Bahadur's Sikhs to Anandpur Sahib. Had it not happened, the story would have been different. And along the GT road, even today, there is a village, Bad Khalsa, of Dayyas. The person carrying his Sikhs took shelter in this village. And he had 4 sons. As destiny, probably because of destiny, his face resembled that of Guru Tegh Bahadur. He asked his son to behead him and exchange the head so that Guruji's head could reach up to Anandpur Sahib. And the following column of army, Mughal army coming, they took away that head of Dada Kushal Singh Daya, and they were satisfied that it has been disposed of. Another aspect, after the going away of Das Mashis, Guru Govind Singh Ji Maharaj in Nanded, Banda Singh Bairagi, Banda Bahadur Bairagi that we call him today, he came to seek help because he had no army. And incidentally, gentlemen, he came to my village of Seri Khanda. It is a part of history. He had only 5 Panch Pyara, 20 Sayogi, 1 Nagada, and 1 Nishan Sahib. He came to my village of help for help, and we provided him 20,000 mal. You see, our Sarv Panchayat system of ruling that time had a soldier training branch. All these akhadas and kustis, power games that you find, it's a continuous of that same heritage. You see the Olympics game coming in wrestling. All wrestlers are from Haryana. And earlier also the performance has been that way. We gave an army from basically from all segment of society. In fact, during 1857, one of the generals was a Valmiki by caste. He fought under Baba Shamal in Bagput. Against him was the Khaki Risala of Captain Dunlop. Captain Hudson was on Rohtak side. He got a thorough beating there and he scooted from there. Captain Goff, he got a Victoria Cross fighting in my Kasbah known as Karkhoda. We call it a capital of the Yaz. What I want to say is that this history, this heritage of sacrifice, you turn a stone and you find so much of it that as an Indian we can be truly proud. In this aspect, I also wish to say a very unique heritage that we people have. Percolated wisdom is found in our folklore. And gentlemen, you will be surprised that this folklore, this wisdom has been passed from generation to generation. And you know who have been the propagators? Right from a Brahmin, Pandit Lakshmi Chand, to a Jat, Meher Singh, right up to Dhanpad Doom. Doom is a caste, you see, the Mirasis you must have heard. Their job is only entertainment. So right from a Brahmin to a Mirasi, this wisdom is, they are the custodians. We don't believe really in this. Religion is a typical, issue confined to personal space. In 1709 on 6 November, the first attack under Banda Bahadur Singh was put on Sonipat treasury. This was the beginning of unwinding of the Mughal Empire and re-establishing the Sikhism in today's Punjab. What fate he met is a subsequent fate. The second wife of Guru Maharaj, Bibi Sahib Kaur, was accompanying this column of 25 people who came to my village. It is on record. I even I have organized a martial arts academy by government of Haryana. Chief Minister himself came and inaugurated it. Now this is a service that we all can in our own ways need to return back to society. When all these episodes or the phases of history, I can say with a lot of pride that from Flanders, France to Burma, there is not a single battlefield where the Haryani blood has not been shed. And mind you, gentlemen, 1857, though it went on and equally fierce in our area, basically Kanpur, Allahabad. My aim is that these sacrifices should not go unsung. If you see the public discourse today, whenever there is somebody, a Jawan or an officer martyrs, just see the messages. Jai Hind, Vande Mataram, Bharat Mata ki Jai. And the matter ends there. It is painful, and it is across the board, happening everywhere. We feel the pinch since we are more in number and sacrifices are more. In fact, like we have national population register, I can even say that let there be a national sacrifice register. Who has sacrificed how much for this country? It cannot be left to the political class. The military class too should make a contribution. All warfares, we have studied Europe, France, Germany, everywhere. We have not studied our own battlefields. From Shivaji Maharaj and his followers, that is Peshwas, taking over, I think, second or third generation. But the most important before 1757, where the contents were right from Portuguese, Dutch, British, French. The real control of Hindustan has taken in southern India. It has not been adequately. I feel so proud that CoG is doing a wonderful job. They are sharing all these things. Air Marshal Varta is the driving Captain Ramachandran sir. They're doing a wonderful. I really feel very proud. I had no chance. Marshal Varta encouraged me that you must share. And today's talk is a consequent to that. A Haryani soldier always upheld three social values well known for the same. Does not indulge in loot, plunder, and violating women honor. Because we are tribal, we are governed by tribalistic code of conduct. And we have proved, the history says so. In present time, we cannot, you see, history is basically, as I said, is a reference point. But unfortunately, in today's public discourse, we're resorting to a lot of fake things, ignoring these real players. Haryanvis have really given the sense of equality in First and Second World War. When Captain Balwant Singh was rubbing shoulder with Captain Brown, who couldn't even imagine what does he look like? Because officers' lot were an exclusive thing. In fact, I learned to share two incidents where the Britishers have let us down. In Singapore Square, when the surrender was taking place, the Japanese segregated the British officers and they waved them goodbye, saying, "Dear good Johnnies, you have been very loyal to us. Hereafter, the Japs are your masters. Be equally loyal to them." Drawing pay, perks, allowances, everything from the government. That time, British India Treasury, they failed the men. Second time, it again happened during 1947. They refused to involve the officer community. No wonder it was free for all. So, why? Because our initial founders probably have erred on this count. Because at least from 47, we had nobody to blame. We are free to run things in our own way. Unfortunately, it has not happened. And the worst thing is the martyrdom is still not got the place, honor, but it should, because the military leadership have failed to bring it at that appropriate level. Now, lastly, I'll, with your permission, wind up with one thing: the soldier for pay or honor. It's a very big question. It was done for only pay, or it was something else. Today, we all very proudly talk of Naam, Namak, and Nishan. It is a direct extraction from what our ancestors have been upholding. These ethos we have taken from them. I wanted to share, there is a folk singing called Swang in Haryana. I was amazed the kind of writings. Pandit Lakshmi Chand has been, ultimate in Adhyatam. Jat Meher Singh, who was sacrificed in Battle of Mandalay, has written up to the last breath he had, where he even says how his body should be received and how the family members should take it. It is sung even today, and it is a very motivating factor for the young generation. To sum up, I wish to see these unique qualities and achievements found in the Haryana soldier would also be because of the unique social tapestry of the state and tradition of grassroots level participative democracy. Our Khar Panchayats, where the Mughals have followed, it is on record, its headquarters in Soram village in Bagpur district, has got so much of recorded history that the Mughals have come and paid respect and even paid Nazrana. It is matter of record. Reconstructing Haryana, it happened in 1803 when the British, fighting the 6 battles for control of Hindustan, found that this area, if it remains united, they have no chance. And imagine, gentlemen, I read it myself. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, he cautioned his people that 360 miles around Delhi, there are people, unless they are divided, decimated, nobody can control Delhi. It is part of history. Anyway, in the end, I salute our ancestors who left behind such a heritage for posterity. Now it is upon the present trustees to uphold it at all costs and against all odds. Jai Hind. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Meher. It was, it was sort of very emotional presentation of, part of our country with such rich military traditions. And, I served with Jatrus myself. I know what great fighters they are. And it has been, it's wonderful to hear your perspective of, in the national narrative, what Haryana has contributed. Thank you so very much. Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, the floor is open for questions. If you have, I'm sure you'll be happy to answer. Please, you can unmute yourself and ask questions on your own. Questions, please. I've seen in chat some questions from this was it Ravi Ravi, it is written now. Ravi Mani was. Oh, this question is from Kannan to everyone. It is.
I've already posted my question.
Yeah.
Have you seen those questions?
This is your name. Can you give me your name?
Karan Chakravarti.
Karun Chakravarti. Yeah, that should be the one. One Ashwini, according to you, is about 2 lakhs. That's the question, isn't it?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, 2 lakhs sort of military. Yeah, personal. 11 plus 7 Akawanis means a huge number. Was there so much of population those days to constitute to the Akawani?
To contribute.
Contribute to the Shawnee. That is the question. If the second part of the question, will come to that. First, after the answers, the population. He is asking about the population. Could we have such a huge army out of the population, existing population in those days? You want me to read that question out again, Mahar?
No, sir. Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
No, I just want to once again thank you that you see this is what I'm destined to do. I was never, my friends know me, but it is all destiny, and I'm proud that I've been able to get in. In fact, you see, when I first got involved with Haryana Academy of History and Culture, it has been headed by a very renowned historian who was just expired 2 days back, Professor K.C. Yadav, and presently headed by Professor Raghuvinder Tawar. They have been eminent historians in universities, HOD and Dean and all those things. I found the ignorance is appalling. And in fact, he, on my recommendation, we made it as a main theme of annual seminar that Haryana Academy of History and Culture comes, Haryana and the Soldier. And I pulled in some veterans, and we dug out so many things, and it really came up. We called one of the PVCs, and it was a great show. Sharing. We must take pride in our own heritage. Especially the service fraternity, we owe it to the nation, and it is in this with this spirit that I've been involved. It is to my great liking.
The question about the numbers. I mean, could we afford that's such a huge number in those times, considering the population of the subcontinent? Would we have such a huge army assembled at Kurukshetra? That is the gist to the question.
In Mahabharata, sir, there are 18 Chakravyuhas.
In Mahabharata, because you say
God, it is hugely surprising to see the way they organized and the way the maneuvers were taking place. It is unimaginable. My God, it is too much.
The population, it sort of looks, considering them in the
exactly,
population.
Exactly.
The question is different. The question is, was there a sufficiently large population base to support an army of 39 lakhs, which you said was assembled? That's the question.
Exactly, sir. Exactly.
Yeah. Was there a population base to raise such a huge army? That is the essence.
And more important is the it was army. It wouldn't have been stationed in Hastinapur area because he promised his army and he himself opted to be with Arjuna. So imagine, you see, only from military perspective, how it would have moved, how it would have been logistically supported, and how it would have been used. So it is really mind-boggling.
Yeah. there's a second part of the question he is asking. How is it that Sikhs of Punjab are termed as warrior race and not the Haryanvis?
You see, Haryanvis, there are two things. One, you do something and talk. And another thing is that you are intelligent enough to do it and very appropriately project it. We all understand it. You see, in fact, I was barely 9-10 years old when I asked this question to my father. How come you stuck on here when every joker from whosoever wants to control Hindustani passed through my village? So our strength has been this Gan Rajya established by nothing less than Ganesha. It is on his name. Nowhere else in India you'll find something Gan Tantra, Gan Rajya, etc. Ganpati. No, these words speak for themselves. And it has been endorsed by Metcalfe. Because let's accept it. And one thing that the Britishers have done is that they studied us thoroughly. Because they were outsiders, they had it's a different thing that, like for Rajputs, Todd came, for Sikhs, Cunningham came, for Marathas, I think it was William. So they had their respective, in later times, these people have written and modified so many things. Let me be very frank with you. In Haryana, or nobody, not many people, the first historian which came of prominence global level was from my village. He was an IRS officer. And his book is still held in a very lot of respect because thorough research has been, because research is, we don't, in today's, I've seen it in universities, how the research, so-called research is carried out and how things get passed on. So the best trained, imagine the state, how much has spent on us. We can make this contribution and it costs us. We know the language, we have an exposure, we are culturally so evolved, we are the top level people in the country. There is no, because you see, a newspaper will never get sold blank. If you don't, if we write, then our, based on quality, may get priority. Otherwise, what trash you see, it's not even worth reading. My views.
There's another question coming from Jalkaran. I mean, it is Prithviraj Chauhan, the most valiant Raja of medieval times who opposed Mughal invasion. Was he a Haryanvi?
No.
You see, in this aspect, this has not been my today's talk. There are things which are in a great hurry are being altered, and the reasons we all know. So this I can the battle Ryan plays there has happened. How it has been written, the only change, one of the major change that has been taken is that the history writing has been taken out of the domain of courtiers. It has reached up to a person like me, who, depending on my commitment and zeal for it, can have anything on available. It depends upon me. So now those things, जो कह दिया, वो ही था, is being questioned today. No wonder we are even people in power are also questioning. No, it is not like this. It should be like this, etc., etc.
The history will become subjective rather than objective.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Then next is
So
about.
I'm only talking of the ground level things which I have. Yeah.
I would like to come in and respond to Chakrabarti sir's question.
No, specifically, I will not be able to say
No,
because
I want
this
to-
is not part of my to-do.
I want to respond to Chakravarti sir's question, if that's permitted.
I'll come. I can only request you that I'll communicate with you with authentic record.
Any celebrities in recent times from Haryana,
Yeah, that's the question.
who's
Okay,
a
you
Nobel
asked.
Prize winner, or a,
Yeah. That's another
or
question. we have.
a cricketer like Kapil Dev? They're all Haryana
No,
Hurricane.
you see, I have a different definition of a celebrity. So I'll not be correct for me to comment on it. If you really want to talk of it, you just see in the sports field, right from golf to boxing, wrestling, of course, has been the forte. Performance at Olympics. You just see. You see, Haryana by nature is a very modest person. Otherwise, there is so much to say. The celebrity definition is totally urban mindset. I consider the person who lays down his life for the country is a bigger celebrity.
Of course,
And if he
no,
goes
no doubt
unsung,
about that.
if he goes
No,
unsung, it pains the people from the grassroots level like me. I don't consider them as celebrities.
Yeah, there are comments about Battle of Dogra and Rosangla are, they're etched as the most honorable moments of our military history that all of us know. Rosangla was Ahis, if I'm not mistaken, and then, the personal hates.
You see, unfortunately, the trend today is to see history through a political prism. It requires a very personal look and very logical macro to micro level, because micro level is basically has got a different aim, looking for immediate results. So that has not been my area of focus. I have seen it. If there are things to my best of my because I'm not a formally trained historian. It is just my interest and my physical travel. I traveled incidentally about 2.5 lakh in Haryana in my post superannuation. It's my fad.
Are there any more questions apart from this chat? And gentlemen, you're welcome to ask. Unmute yourself and please ask.
It's a very fascinating talk. Captain Ramachandran must thank the speaker for a splendid exposition of a part of history about which we did not have any knowledge. As he says, history has covered everything, is hidden all the valiant efforts of the Haryanvis for a long, long, long time.
Especially
there should be some redemption now.
That aware of. He is
there should be some redemption now.
Any more questions, gentlemen? Thank you very much once again, Mayor, to sort of giving us such a splendid talk, enlightening on the greatness of Haryana in our as a
I'm
military.
honored, sir, and feel very humble. And I look forward to your continued support like this.
Most certainly. We are so happy to sort of host your talk here. We look forward to
thank you so much, sir.
Future such occasions. So we have our next event on 12th of July. This is going to be a talk by Lieutenant General Kamath, who is a soldier scholar extraordinary. He'll be talking about China's peaceful attempts to for world dominance, how they're bullying the way forward. It's a very amazing written an article about it. It's based on that. We requested him to speak on that. We'll look forward to having you. Thank you very much.